Have you ever been woken up by your phone ringing in the dead of night? That sharp sound cutting through the silence, echoing in a room that should be safe. Most of us ignore it, roll over, and tell ourselves it's a wrong number. But what if it isn't? What if the phone call at midnight isn't from the living? Tonight, I'm going to tell you a story. And after hearing it, you might think twice before answering a midnight phone call ever again. The story begins with a girl named Lena, a college student living in a small apartment on the edge of town. It was a cold October night. The rain tapped against her window. The wind howled faintly outside. Lena had just finished a late-night study session and drifted off to sleep when her phone lit up on the nightstand. She squinted at the screen. Unknown number. She hesitated. Who calls at midnight? Her thumb hovered over the green button. Something inside her whispered, "Don't answer." But curiosity always wins. She slid her finger across the screen and pressed the phone to her ear. Hello? At first, nothing, just static. Then, a faint voice, soft female, almost whispering. Why did you answer? Lena froze. Who is this? She asked. The voice didn't reply directly. Instead, it repeated, You shouldn't have answered. The line went dead. Chills ran down Lena's spine. She shoved the phone under her pillow, telling herself it was a prank, but her heartbeat wouldn't slow down. Minutes later, the same number lit up her screen. This time, she let it ring. But here's where things get strange. The call didn't stop. Even after the ringing should have timed out, the screen kept flashing. Over a full minute of ringing. Then, the voicemail notification appeared. Hands trembling, Lena pressed play. The message was nothing but breathing, heavy, uneven, and then a whisper. I'm right outside. Lena rushed to her door. Her apartment was on the 3rd floor. Nobody could be outside. She checked the peephole. The hallway was empty. Trying to calm down, she backed away from the door, clutching her phone. But before she could sit down, knock, 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 slow, deliberate, coming from her front door. Her phone buzzed again. Another voicemail. She didn't dare check it. Instead, she dialed her best friend, Mark. When he picked up, his sleepy voice was a relief. Lena? What's wrong? There's someone outside my door. They keep calling me. Her words cut off as she heard it. Her friend's voice, but not from the phone, from the hallway. Lena? What's wrong? The exact same words, echoing through the door. Her phone slipped from her hand. Her breath hitched. It couldn't be Mark. He lived across town, yet his voice was right outside. Slowly, she picked the phone back up and whispered, Mark, you're not outside my door, are you? Of course not, he replied. I'm at home. Why? Before she could explain, the unknown number called again. And this time, it appeared as her own number. Her phone was calling itself. Terrified, she answered. The same female whisper from before. They know you answered. They can hear you now. Lena screamed. Who are you? What do you want? The voice didn't respond. Instead, a second voice joined in, deeper, distorted, inhuman. It said her name, over and over again. Lena, Lena, Lena. The lights in her apartment flickered. Her TV switched on by itself, showing static. And then, silence. No ringing, no knocking. Until the TV screen flickered once more. And on it, Lena saw herself live from inside her own apartment. Her hands shook as she unplugged the TV, but the image didn't go away. Her terrified face stared back at her, holding the phone. The whisper came again through the screen. "You should never answer the midnight call. Once you do, they find you." Suddenly, Lena remembered something her grandmother once told her. "Never pick up the phone after midnight if you don't recognize the number. Spirits call then, searching for someone foolish enough to listen." She had laughed it off as superstition. But now, with her reflection moving differently from her real self, she realized it wasn't just a story. Her phone buzzed again, sliding across the nightstand. The screen lit up. Incoming call. Unknown. But instead of accept and decline, there was only one option. Answer. She threw the phone across the room, but it didn't shatter. It landed face up, still ringing. And then, the door creaked. Not a knock, a slow, steady creak as it opened by itself. The phone, still on the floor, answered itself. The female voice whispered, "We're here." The next morning, Mark came to check on Lena. He knocked, called her name, even had the landlord open the door. The apartment was empty, no sign of a struggle. Her phone sat on the nightstand, screen cracked, still on that same missed call screen. The police opened an investigation. Neighbors swore they hadn't heard a thing. But Mark noticed something no one else did. On Lena's phone, the last number dialed wasn't his. It was her own number. And the timestamp? Exactly midnight. 2 weeks later, Mark's phone rang. He was half asleep, the apartment silent around him. The screen lit up with an unfamiliar number. He almost ignored it, until he heard the voicemail notification. He pressed play. A shaky, terrified whisper filled his ear. "Mark, it's me. Don't answer the midnight call. Please, don't." The message cut off, and then his phone began ringing again. Same unknown number. He stared at it, hands trembling, remembering Lena. The ringing wouldn't stop. And then, with dread twisting his stomach, he saw something on the screen. The number wasn't unknown anymore. It was his own. So, if your phone ever rings at midnight from an unknown caller, don't answer. Because once you do, they'll know where you are, and they won't stop calling until you're gone too. Tell me, would you answer?